Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of UA Eats. I'm UA and I am in Philadelphia today. I'm gonna be in Philly recording a few videos. I came all the way down here because I was really craving a Philly cheesesteak, and a real one, not like all these fake ones we have in New York and New Jersey. I'm craving a real authentic Philly cheesesteak. So for that reason, I drove all the way down from North Jersey to try a place that I hear is supposed to be the best, Angelo'z Pizza. Now the reason why I'm recording in my car is because you have no idea how windy it is right now. Like there's tons of hard wind and gale, and I really don't want it to mess with the microphone, you know, to block out any of the sound with the wind sound. But once I finish this little intro, I'll hop out and I'll get in line, and the line is already pretty long at this spot. I mean, there's lots of great spots for cheesesteaks in Philly. I personally really like this place, Dalessandro's. John's roast pork, pretty solid too. Oftentimes, a random food cart too will still make a pretty mean cheesesteak, but if so many people claim that this Angelo'z pizza place is the place to go for a Philly cheesesteak, then, you know I gotta try it. So, drove all the way down here to try it out, and yeah, let's hop out into this wind, and hopefully it doesn't rain on us here in Philly while we're in line. So, let's check it out. Alright guys, so I just placed my order. I got two things. I got a cheese pizza and I also got a cheesesteak with Cooper Sharp cheese and fried onions. The people working there heavily pushed the Cooper Sharp cheese. They said it's what they're known for, and it's creamier and way better. And yeah, as you can see behind me, the line here is pretty intense, and it was pretty crowded on the inside, so I wasn't really able to get much footage filming the inside. I did the best I could, but I couldn't record myself ordering the food like I usually do. But they said about 30 to 40 minutes, so now we play the waiting game. Okay, I now migrated across the street because I was standing kind of close to the line that was rapidly growing and people started to mistake me for being in line, so I migrated across the street, and just look at this crazy line. Just look at how huge this line has become. Just look at that crazy line. I don't think I've ever seen a line like this in Philly before. This is like Cat's Deli level almost. Ooh, you hear that wind? Not good weather to be in line either. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I think they might have just called my name, so let's check. Hi, did you call UA? Just the letters U and A?
Yes, I was looking for your pizza. We don't have it yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to say I love your videos.
Oh, thank you so much.
Me and my fiance watch you all the time. You're really great. Your content's awesome.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Didn't expect to get recognized here.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, because you're in New York.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you so much.
Ready, I will yell out UA, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Wow, look at that, small world. That's crazy. All right, after a really long wait, we finally got our food. It definitely was not 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure they tell everyone 30 minutes, but that was almost an hour, and other people were getting antsy too, so not the greatest weather today, so let's see if there's good lighting in the car. All right, so the lighting in my car was not really the best, but it's okay. The wind seems to have died down. It's not quite as cold as I feared, and it doesn't really look like it's gonna rain anytime soon, so I guess I found a place with decent lighting. We'll just review this at a pretty well-lit spot on the sidewalk and just eat our cheesesteak and pizza on the street, you know? The way that God intended for these street foods to be eaten. After all, there's a reason why they make these foods handheld, so that you can eat while you're on the go. So when life gives you lemons, roll with the punches, and in this case, roll with the cheesesteaks. But as far as which one to eat first, the cheesesteak, I'm super starving and I'm tempted to try the cheesesteak first, but the cheesesteak will last because it's wrapped up. It's also wrapped by the bread as well, and in a way, it will almost improve as it's wrapped due to the bread kind of being steamed a little bit in the container. So, while Angelo'z is very much known for its Philly cheesesteak, they are a pizzeria after all, so I couldn't leave without putting their pizza to the test. So we got our bloop Wow, look at this. That is a decent looking cheese pizza, am I right? And anyone who's eaten here before, you will know that I am not doing anything to like the filter or the lighting or anything like that to give it such a bright yellow color. This is just the way it looks. It's just naturally this yellow and cartoonishly yellow. It really does kind of look like a cartoon pizza, like a Ninja Turtles pizza, but a little bit higher quality. The Ninja Turtles pizza kind of looks more like a fast food, like a Pizza Hut pizza. That's kind of the way I always imagined it because of how slimy and droopy it is. This is if the Ninja Turtles had some high class, if they were, you know, part of the Upper West Side or Tribeca neighborhood of New York, as opposed to the sewers, you know? So looking pretty good, some great heat bubbles. Sauce is looking pretty even and well baked into the crust. And let's see if we got leopard spotting on the bottom. And yeah, we got some leopard spotting, not super dark spots, but we do have some. And in general, the bottom of the crust just looks nice and evenly charred, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. So it's interesting that their cheesesteak is what put them on the map, but the pizza is also looking to die for. So let's grab this one here with these delicious heat bubbles. Come on, there you go. Ooh. And it's not floppy at all. Sometimes these nicer pizzas, like even New York slices, can be rather floppy, but this slice, it has pretty good, what's a pretentious way that I could explain it? Like structural integrity. Look, I can even shake it and it won't bend in half or anything. So a bite of a slice of Angelo'z Pizzeria. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Also, the wind is starting to pick up, as you can see, so apologies if you kind of hear the wind a little bit. I'm doing my best. Oh, and another thing that I wanted to point out is that this place is takeout only and cash only. Keep that in mind. And also because it's takeout only, there's no seating inside. So that's why I'm doing the best I can. But yeah, I'll just say that this is generally a pretty good slice of pizza. I mean, this channel is based in New York and we eat so many great pizzas in New York that it would kind of be unfair to hold this to New York standards. Is this as good as my favorite pizza places in New York? I would say no. Outside of New York though, here in Philly, it's pretty solid. I mean, the cheese is pretty good in flavor. It looks good, and let me tell you, it tastes pretty good too. The crust is good, but if I can be honest, it's a little bit more crunchy than I would like. Like, it's the reason why the pizza is so structurally sound is because the crust is nice and crisp, but a little bit overly so it's a little bit cracker-like. Like a lot of the great pizzas, particularly in New York, but I would imagine in general, you want like a good combination of crispiness as well as chewiness. You know, you want there to be like a nice chew to it. And this crust doesn't really have much chew. It's more so crunchy. Not bad. I mean, I don't mind some nice crispy starch, but if we were to compare this to the great pizzas of New York City, that's one thing that's really lacking here. Yeah, as you can see, like a piece just kind of like flaked off when I like touched it. So further supporting my case. Actually, the basil is not just for garnish, it actually balances out the cheesiness and the oiliness pretty well. But it is time to eat pizza the best way to eat it, the way that New York pizzas were designed to be eaten. Fold it in half like that. And it does fold a little bit too neatly in half, I would say. Like it's almost creating like a, well, I don't know how to explain it, like it's almost creating like a little square. So a little bit too rigid, but ingredients are all great. The cheese particularly is very good, as well as the basil. Although, to be honest, I don't really taste the tomato sauce much. The tomato sauce maybe could be a little bit more sweet, a little bit more strong, but I wonder if they gave me enough of it. Well, I guess it's really absorbed into the cheese, but my case still stands that the tomato sauce could stand to be a little bit more flavorful, in my opinion. Unless it's doing a good job as like a backup flavor, you know? Beyonce wouldn't be nearly as good without her backup singers, right? Otherwise she'd just be by herself, you know, going, all the single ladies, without the two other single ladies to her left and right. She would just literally be a single lady just by herself and with not two of her friends. But look how windy it's getting, by the way, oh my goodness. But anyways, we reviewed a slice of the pizza. It is time to review the cheesesteak. Ah, yes. It's like a super long burrito, like a huge baby. A baby that came in 5 pounds heavier than expected. Now, unlike wannabe cheesesteaks you may get outside of Philly, a cheesesteak really has got to be really heavy like this. Stuffed full of lots of meat and almost heavy enough for you to be able to do some dumbbell exercises. I'm just kidding, by the way, not that heavy. But okay, you know, maybe some deltoid raises, maybe, right? I've had some pretty good cheesesteaks on this channel. Dalessandro's, Max's, all excellent. How will Angelo'z look? And would you look at that? Just check out this cheesesteak, stuffed completely filled with beef. So generous. I mean, this is generous even by authentic Philly cheesesteak standards. And it looks like the bread is toasted on all sides too. I'm personally not a big fan of the sesame seed bun. I prefer non-seeded bun personally. I feel like the sesame seeds, I don't know, especially when they're this heavily studded, I feel like the sesame flavor is pretty overwhelming, but I'll give it a chance. This kind of reminds me of the John's roast pork cheesesteak. I don't think this is an Amoroso roll, which I like for cheesesteaks. I think those tend to be nice and chewy, but we'll give it a chance. It looks like a freshly baked bread. Open this guy up. Yeah, that Colby cheese, just kind of evenly throughout. I feel like the onions could be a little bit more generous, but maybe some are hidden on the inside. That's probably the case. Actually, I take it back. There's actually more onions than I first observed. And big chunks of beef, as opposed to really, really thinly diced, like at Dalessandro's and other typical cheesesteak spots. So, time to give it a shot, why don't we?
I don't think I could trust my judge on it.
That was honestly one of the cheesiest bites I've ever had. Most cheesiest, beefiest bites. And I take back what I said about the sesame seeds. They're really well toasted to bring out that sesame flavor and kind of infusing some extra savoriness and umami-ness. Wow, delicious. Guys, it is getting a little bit too windy, so I think we're gonna have to go into the car soon. But does this not look like an incredible sandwich or what? They may not be using an Amoroso roll. I think they're scooping some Italian bread, I believe. It's scooped to the perfect, like, thickness, you might say, where there is still some chewiness from the bread, but the crispy crust is really, really highlighted here. I don't really taste the onions, to be honest, which is unfortunate, but once again, I'm sure they play a background role. And the worker at Angelo'z was so right about getting Cooper Sharp cheese. I think no matter what cheese you get, it would be good here. But this cheese is just so melty, so liquidy, so creamy. Like it almost has like the texture of Cheese Whiz, but a little bit creamier, a little bit thicker. It just kind of tastes more like real cheese too. Cheese Whiz is not for everyone because it has that really artificial powdered cheese taste. But this Cooper Sharp cheese, you get that creaminess, you get that sliminess. It tastes like it's more made from like a real cheese, not like a cheese from a can. So you get some of that stretchiness from good cheese too. So that might actually be a good way to explain it. You have more cheese stretch rather than goopy, slimy, messy cheese from Whiz. I mean, just look, see? They scooped this bread but left just enough fluffy starch to provide cushion and pillow for the toasted crust. One of the best sandwiches I've had, maybe even ever. Wow, fantastic. Finished a half, but there's a whole second half left. But it's getting a little bit too windy, so let's head into the car for some final thoughts. All right, guys, so it's crazy windy outside, so hopped back into the safety of our car. Lots of gale and strong winds. But yeah, I think we kind of have enough to generally wrap up the review. To me, the cheesesteak at Angelo'z Pizza 100% lived up to the hype. It was fantastic. It was definitely one of the best I've had. I just feel like for everything that you want from a Philly cheesesteak, you're pretty much getting it here. You're getting great bread, you're getting lots of meat, you're getting a really cheesy interior, like a really cheesy mouthful in every bite, at least if you get it with the Cooper Sharp cheese. I think based on the bread and the cheese alone, it's my favorite cheesesteak I've had in Philly so far. So while the pizza was good, although I felt like there were pizzas in New York that I definitely prefer, so I would say the pizza was good, but I wouldn't say it was like elite or anything. The cheesesteak though was just absolutely fantastic, so it was a long wait, but I think it was worth it. But what do you guys think? Have you guys been to Angelo'z before? What's your favorite cheesesteak place in Philly? And where do you think I should review next? Let me know in the comments because great minds eat alike. I'm gonna take more bites of this delicious cheesesteak and try not to make a mess all over myself. If you like my videos, as always, please like and subscribe. That way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. That's all for now, folks. So until next time, I'll see you later.